What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. You read the title, you know what's going on here. The AFC is as tight as it's going to get right now. I mean, the playoff picture is so blurry that I'm going to have a very hard time predicting it, but I'm going to give it my best shot in this video. I mean, until things shake out, who the hell knows who's going to make it? It's going to be a photo finish, but before we get into all of that, you guys know the drill around here. Mott applesauce, if you're ever hungry, thirsty, whatever it might be. Mott applesauce will satisfy whatever satisfy you. Satisfy the Caveman guarantee. I promise it will never fail you. Let's get into the playoff picture, huh? Alrighty, so let's get into it. With the way things currently stand, it seems next to impossible to actually figure out and get right who is going to make it. If this was the NFC we were talking about, it would be much, much easier. But we're talking about the AFC right now, and I mean, everybody is just clumped into this massive pack. No singular team really stands out from the rest right now. And on top of the fact that everybody is so clumped up, it only makes it that much harder to figure out because this season has been so freaking unpredictable. I mean, it's so difficult to guess who's going to win on a weekly basis at this point. I mean, I do my pick'ems every week, and I'm just struggling to figure it out. Thankfully, the Steelers did lose last night because that would have made things just even spicier in the AFC. So it made my life a tad bit easier, even though they absolutely scared the shit out of the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. But let me tell you how I broke this down. I took the 13 teams, yes, 13 teams, that's crazy to say going into week 14, that I still think have a chance at making the postseason, and I evaluated how the rest of their schedule looked, and I analyzed whether they'd win some games, lose some games, and I pretty much predicted how the rest of their schedules would go. So I handed out wins where I saw fit, I handed out losses where I saw fit, and the rest of the puzzle pretty much placed itself. Mind you, this is subject to change as soon as Sunday, because unless all my predictions are 100% correct, which has yet to happen this season, then I would assume this is absolutely going to change, because some teams are going to win that I thought were going to lose this Sunday, and some teams are going to lose that I thought were going to win this Sunday. So, you know, obviously, it's not going to be perfect. It's subject to change, but this is where my mind is at right this second. So I'm going to first start by evaluating the AFC South because they have the least amount of potential playoff teams in their division. The Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. Where do their records stand as of right now? The Tennessee Titans currently sit at 8-4, and the Indianapolis Colts currently sit at 7-6. But the biggest difference between these two teams is that the Tennessee Titans are at 8-4, but they're kind of trending downward right now, and the Indianapolis Colts are at 7-6, but they're certainly on the upward trend. As for the Tennessee Titans, with their remaining schedule, I predicted that they would go from 8-4 to finishing at 11-6. Yes, I still think they take the division home because they still have a couple easy games remaining. And then as for the Indianapolis Colts, they're going to go from 7-6 and finish 10-7. And considering how they started, that is pretty damn remarkable, especially with that gauntlet, hell-like freaking schedule they had. I mean, they had one of the most difficult schedules in the entire NFL, and it's not even close. Moving on to the AFC East, well, this team only had 2 potential playoff teams, but now they have 3, as the Miami Dolphins have ripped off like a 5-game win streak out of nowhere, and now they sit at 6-7. The Buffalo Bills have lost the grasp of the top of the AFC, as now they currently sit at 7-5 after losing that game to the Patriots, and the New England Patriots, who are currently at the top of the division, are 9-4. And this might not shock you all that much because I am a Bills fan. I'm a little bit of a homer, even though things haven't been going that well. I still am going to predict that the Bills go from 7-5 up to 11-6 and take back the AFC East. That would move the Patriots from 9-4 to 11-6 as well, but because the Bills have the tiebreaker in the division, as far as how many wins and losses they have, they will overtake the Patriots, assuming they beat them later on in the year. And then the Miami Dolphins will end up going from 6-7 to 7-10. So I do think that their winning streak is going to slowly come to an end after their bye week. All right, so now let's get into some even tighter divisions in the AFC, moving into the AFC West, which in my opinion is the second best division in all of football. I mean, this division is super tough. As things currently stand, the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting atop of the AFC West at 8-4. The Los Angeles Chargers are 7-5, and both the Raiders and the Broncos are 6-6. As I shook down the rest of the AFC West schedule, I do have the Kansas City Chiefs winning out and finishing atop of the AFC West. I have the Los Angeles Chargers finishing at 10-7, and then the Las Vegas Raiders at 8-9, and the Denver Broncos at 7-10. Although I gotta be completely honest, I can't bullshit you guys. As far as these 4 teams go, I really am not all that confident in my predictions for them going forward. I mean, the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos are 3 of the most sporadic teams that we have in the NFL. The Chargers lose games all the time that they shouldn't. They choke games away. They make games closer than they should be. be. The Denver Broncos, I mean, they took down the Chargers, which I didn't think should have happened. They also blew out the Cowboys, which I also don't think should have happened. And not to mention, the Raiders stick around in games that you would never expect them to, but then they go out and lose close games to the Washington football team, so they make no sense either. And lastly, we have the AFC North, which in my opinion is easily the most competitive division in the entire NFL. Not just in the AFC, but in the NFL as a whole. I mean, all four of these teams have the potential to be extremely good. Whether or not they finish strong is another story, but all four of these teams have a very strong chance at making the postseason. Right now, the AFC North standings go as follows. In first place, we have the Baltimore Ravens at 8-4. In second place, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at 7-5. Third place, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-1. And in fourth, we have the Cleveland Browns at 6-6, which is awfully shocking because they were one of my Super Bowl favorites heading into this season. I feel the same way about my AFC North predictions that I feel about my AFC West predictions. Like, I'm as confident as I'm going to get in my predictions as we speak with this AFC North, but that doesn't mean I 100% believe this is what's going to happen, because all four of these teams in the AFC North have the potential to play much better than they're playing right now, but they also have the potential to continue playing like shit like they've been. Based on my shakedown for the rest of the year, I do have the Baltimore Ravens securing the division at 10-7. I have the Cleveland Browns making a little bit of a run and making some noise, finishing at 9-8. The Pittsburgh Steelers will finish at 8-1, and the Cincinnati Bengals will go from second to fourth, from 7-5 to 8-9, and finish in last in the division. I know it might be shocking to hear that I don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to finish in the top 2 or even 3 of their division, but just to give a little insight, Joe Burrow just hurt his hand. I think that injury is going to linger, and I also think that team is just too young to be seeing as much success as they've been seeing as of late. I think it's going to die down, and that's exactly why I have them finishing last in the AFC North. Anyways, moving on. Those are my predictions for all 4 divisions going forward in the last 5 weeks of football, and this is what the standings would look like if all of this were to go down. So yeah, this is what the AFC would look like post week 18 if everything went according to the caveman's plans. And like I said earlier in the video, after I did my rest of year schedule predictions for all of these teams, the playoff picture pretty much painted itself. With the number 1 seed getting the bye week, we would have the Kansas City Chiefs reclaiming their top spot in the conference. In second place, we would have the Tennessee Titans. In third place, we would have the Buffalo Bills. And in fourth place, we would have the Baltimore Ravens. And claiming the wild card spots, I do have the New England Patriots, the Indianapolis Colts, as well as the Los Angeles Chargers. So those are the 7 teams that I believe will make it into the playoffs this year. This is my official AFC playoff picture prediction as of right this second. Like I said, it's subject to change after Sunday. You know, a lot of teams could lose that I have winning, and a lot of teams could win that I have losing. I mean, this could easily get derailed instantly, but right now, those are the 7 teams that I have making it. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of my picture. Your thoughts, as always. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I'd appreciate that. You can go over to Twitter, follow me over there. I'd appreciate that as well. I actually have a TikTok that I keep forgetting to plug. That will be down in the description if you want to go check that out. Also, I'm part of the Built-in Buffalo content creation team. If you enjoy Buffalo Bills content, be sure to follow and subscribe to us on any social media I have, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.